this is Suzanne Spooner, QHHT Level 3 Practitioner, and I'm coming to you from my office here in Des Moines, Iowa. What's prompting me to create this clip is I was this weekend going over my own website and looking at videos that I had up, and I hadn't watched for a long time a video that I did a couple of years ago about what to expect in your QHHT session to help you get the most that you can out of the experience with whomever you do your session with. So as I was watching that, I realized that we've made some changes in how people experience QHHT sessions. So in that older video, I was explaining that when you have a QHHT session, you are probably going to experience it one of three ways. You may feel somewhat aware, you may have almost like an amnesia experience and not remember anything, and you could be in between. And just a few years ago, that was truth. That's how people having sessions were experiencing it. But it's not that way anymore. It's really interesting. We kind of swung the pendulum over to this far side. And I want to explain what that is so that if you decide to have a QHHT session, you can kind of come in prepared and understanding what you will probably feel like. And then I'll go back just a little bit if I've got time and explain the amazing reason of why that is. So here's what I would say now. 99% of my clients, I would guess, are now experiencing a QHHT session where they definitely are feeling somewhat aware during the session, during the hypnosis part. Now, that presents its own set of challenges, because if you feel somewhat aware, then the thoughts can creep into your mind, like maybe I'm just making this up, maybe I'm not relaxed enough, maybe I'm really not in. What I know, because of being able to be on the other side of these sessions, is that that's just your left brain trying to pop in, and it's feeling a little discombobulated because of the information that we're receiving in a QHHT session or outside of its realm. It's coming in from the right side of your brain, which is amazing. That's the ticket of everything. But feeling more aware during sessions, the things that I have found that help people the most are the three great tips, and I've got those out on YouTube clips shortly. What they are is the very best one is whenever your practitioner asks you a question, just trust and say the first thing that comes to mind. When your practitioner asks you to see something, try to see it in as much detail as you can. And when they ask a question, talk and talk a lot. Give as much description as you can. Now, all of those three tips help quiet down your left brain and help you go into a deeper state of relaxation or hypnosis, where you have easier access to the right side of your brain and this infinite amount of profound information and healing. So those are great tips. When we feel more aware, it's almost like we have this internal argument going on as a client. And your practitioner is going to ask you a question. You're going to know the answer right away, and you're going to want to say that, like your practitioner has told you. Say the first thing that comes to mind. But then there's this little doubt that creeps in that says, that can't be right, or I'm just making that up, or I'm not even under. I'm totally here in this room. And that's the left brain trying to, what's going on here? This can't be happening. This can't be real. And so I see the clients kind of managing this, and sometimes I can even literally see the argument happening, only because I see eyebrows going up and down, like they're, hearing both sides of the argument. It's so funny. And if I do, then I'll jump right in and just say, no. Say the first thing that comes to mind. And then we get them back on track again, and off we go, delving into this infinite pool of knowledge that they carry. And it's just, it's just learning how to quiet down that left side. So when you're in the midst of that experience as a client, it can feel a little frustrating, because you don't want to fight yourself. You want to get as much as you can in the easiest way possible. But Okay, so this is the fun stuff. This is the really geeky stuff. So when I'm having conversations with the high self, subconscious, whatever name you want to put to that, this is at the very end of the sessions. If we've answered all of the client's questions and the client is still holding the energy well and I can continue the conversation for a little bit, I'll go into interview mode with the high self. And so I'm asking them, many clients in sessions, the high selves, I'll call it, why this is happening, why they're seeming to feel more aware during the sessions. And the same answers I'm getting from many clients, which gives me the validity that this is correct information, is that because we're in this great shift of consciousness in humanity right now, we just are, know it or not, we are, that they say we are actually on the cusp, so close to becoming able to access this information in an awake and aware state. So they're saying because we're on that verge of integrating this part in an awake and aware state, that we have to become more aware in order to access this. We don't get the kind of the free pass that we had decades ago, 10 years ago. When you read Dolores Cannon's many of her books, close to up to the end of the books that she wrote while she was with us, she would often say that they would come out of the session, they wouldn't remember anything. It was like amnesia. And in that time of our human history, in order to access this information, this great healing, we did need to experience that way. We needed to get out of our way completely in order to have access. But because we're going through this great shift in human consciousness, we're raising our vibration and our frequency, we're becoming our high self, this part of us that knows everything in an awake and aware body. We have to accept more responsibility, I guess, and be that. So it's such an interesting perspective that I and other QHHT practitioners receive watching this, because we're always, as practitioners, our goal is to help the client to let go and have the most deep and profound session possible. We can't make anybody do this, but we can help them in our best way to achieve that state. It's not hard to do, but it's a partnership. And so where everybody, I think, me included, would like to be the one that, comes out of a session and doesn't remember a thing, and it's, oh my gosh, it's such a surprise where they went and what their answers to their questions were. It's just not happening like that anymore. It's just about everybody that is saying after the session that while they were in the session, they still felt quite aware. It's a really interesting experience. So one of the extra perks that I'm seeing from that is I'm having more clients report back to me after sessions now that they are very aware of that information coming in an awake state now after the session. It's like the session is the catapult that kind of merges that left and that right side of the brain that I've talked about before, and they are able to access their information. I guess the point of this clip is, do not expect that you're going to have that amnesia experience. Don't even set yourself up for that. Do know that you are now going to feel more aware during the session. And if you use those 3 tips that I gave you, and especially saying that very first thing that comes to mind, and not worry that you may not feel like you're under. Just go with the information and get it out through your mouth and onto your recording. When you listen to your recording, you'll see how everything just flows together and makes sense in ways that your left brain wouldn't have been able to pull through. It's crazy great. So it's a leap in evolution. Yay, us! We've made this great, wonderful leap in evolution. And I am very grateful to have a front row seat to monitor these changes that we are making as a collective. And I hope that information helps you to prepare if you decide to have a QHHT session. with our practitioners who are all over the world. You can locate a practitioner close to you on the QHHTofficial.com website under the Find a Practitioner page. And my website is Suzanne Spooner, QHHT.com. You can reach out to me there, email me with questions. All right, have a great day.